Guyana Shore Base Incorporated hosts exciting safety sweepstakes drawing. Last week, Guyana Shore Base Incorporated held the highly anticipated drawing for its safety sweepstakes competition, offering one lucky employee the chance to win a brand new MG3 car. This initiative encouraged participation through various safety-related activities, including blood drives, winners of safety initiatives like the Observations and Interventions cards, Kahoot challenges, Employees of the Month, and weekly safety winners. From an impressive pool of 9,000 entries, Anthony Paris, a truck driver/operator from Crew A with over 3 years of dedicated service, emerged as the grand prize winner. Congratulations, Anthony, on this exciting achievement. Your commitment to safety is commendable, and we appreciate your contributions to the team. Man in court after breaching protection order. Guyana News. A 49-year-old man, Mervyn Taylor, was granted $10,000 bail on Friday after appearing at the Georgetown Magistrates Court to address a charge of breach of protection order. Taylor, a resident of 3324 South Ruimveldt Park, is accused of breaching a protective order issued on January 24, 2025, which mandated that he stay 50 feet away from Vanil Gray's residence. The alleged breach occurred on February 5, 2025, on Cemetery Road, Georgetown. Taylor pleaded not guilty and provided an explanation. He claimed that he did not intentionally violate the order but was on his way to drop off their child at church, where Gray was present. He stated that Gray was supposed to collect their son at 5 p.m., but when he called her, she did not respond until an hour later. In her testimony, Gray stated that she was at church, which concluded at 4:45 p.m., when Taylor called to ask about her whereabouts. She accused him of premeditating the incident to verbally abuse her at the church and describe his behavior as stalker-like, noting that he tends to appear when he knows her location. The court was informed that Taylor and Gray had previously agreed to communicate only about matters related to their child. Acting Chief Magistrate Faith McGusty placed Taylor on $10,000 bail and instructed both parties to arrange for a third party to transport their child, ensuring that Taylor would not breach the protective order by coming near Gray's residence. The case continues as both Taylor and Gray navigate the terms of their arrangement regarding their child. No bail for man charged with stealing motorbike. Guyana News. A 23-year-old man, Ezekiel Roberts, was remanded to prison after appearing at the Georgetown Magistrates Court on Friday to face charges of robbery with aggravation. Roberts, a resident of Waterloo Street, Cummingsburg, Georgetown, is accused of robbing Leon Russell of a motorcycle valued at $200,000. The alleged robbery occurred on February 3, 2025. During the proceedings, Roberts pleaded not guilty with an explanation. He claimed that on the day of the robbery, around 1:30 p.m., he was at home when two men entered his yard, informing him of a robbery that had just taken place. According to Roberts, the suspects fled through his yard, leaving the motorcycle behind, which the two men then attempted to take. Roberts later encountered Russell, whom he had met only once, and agreed to help him retrieve his motorcycle. He expressed concern to Russell that if he were seen pushing the motorcycle down the road, the police might suspect him of theft. Despite his concerns, he said he set out on his motorcycle to search for Russell's bike and returned shortly after with the motorcycle and keys. Roberts mentioned that there was a CCTV camera nearby and requested that the footage be reviewed to prove his innocence, asserting that it would clearly show what transpired. However, the prosecution countered that the video footage presented a different narrative, showing Roberts riding away from the crime scene with the motorcycle. They noted that the keys found in Roberts' possession were identified by Russell, and the motorcycle had not been recovered. Additionally, they claimed that Roberts did not cooperate with police during his arrest. After reviewing the evidence, Acting Chief Magistrate Faith McGusty denied Roberts bail and remanded him to prison as the case proceeds. Two Venezuelans granted $50,000 bail in unlawful wounding case. Guyana Times. Naomi Leon and Yorsaiki Maribi Diaz Bonilla, two Venezuelan nationals, were granted bail of $50,000 each after appearing before Acting Chief Magistrate Faith McGusty at the Georgetown Magistrates Court on Friday. The women are jointly charged with unlawfully wounding Nancy Leon during an altercation that occurred on January 31, 2025, at North Road, Georgetown. During the proceedings, Naomi initially pleaded guilty, while Bonilla pleaded not guilty. When Magistrate McGusty asked Naomi to explain the incident, she recounted that it took place around 9:30 p.m. as she was leaving a disco. Naomi stated that Nancy approached her and asked, "Are you fake?" to which she responded, "Yes." Nancy then allegedly challenged her to fight. According to Naomi, when Nancy advanced aggressively, She pushed and punched her multiple times. In the altercation, Naomi claimed Nancy threw a bottle at her, prompting her to retaliate by picking up the bottle and using it to cut Nancy. After considering Naomi's account, Magistrate McGusty recorded a not guilty plea based on her explanation. The prosecution did not object to bail but expressed concerns about potential conflicts, as both the defendants and the complainant live at the same address. To mitigate any potential issues, Magistrate McGusty ordered both women to stay away from Nancy and placed them on a bond to keep the peace. Bail was set at $50,000 for each woman, and they were instructed to have no contact with the complainant as the case proceeds. The matter is scheduled to return to court on March 7, 2025. Painter granted $200,000 bail in marijuana trafficking case. Kwesi Lawrence Gonzalez, a 48-year-old painter residing at Lot 14 Republic Drive, Beterverwagding, BV, East Coast Demerara, ECD, has been granted bail of $200,000 after appearing before Chief Magistrate, A.G. Faith McGusty at the Georgetown Magistrates Court on Friday. Gonzalez faces charges of possession of 371 grams of marijuana with the intent to traffic. Previously remanded to prison, Gonzalez was represented by attorney Dominic Bess during this court appearance. Bess argued for bail, highlighting that Gonzalez has no prior convictions and is not a flight risk. The prosecution opposed bail, asserting that the narcotics were found in Gonzalez's possession. Magistrate McGusty questioned whether the substance had been tested, to which the prosecution admitted it had not. After considering both sides, the magistrate granted bail, stipulating that Gonzalez must report to the Brick Dam police station on the first Friday of every month. Gonzalez's next court date is scheduled for February 28, 2025. The charges stem from an incident on January 21, 2025, on Water Street, Georgetown. According to the prosecution, law enforcement officers, acting on intelligence related to drug trafficking, observed Gonzalez allegedly fleeing while carrying a bag. Officers pursued and apprehended him, reportedly finding marijuana inside the bag. Gonzalez denied ownership of the bag and its contents, claiming he was merely at the market when he noticed others running and instinctively followed them. He stated that when the police approached him, they found the bag on the ground and mistakenly assumed it belonged to him. Initially unrepresented, Gonzalez was remanded after the prosecution opposed bail due to the serious nature of the charges. However, with legal representation, he was able to secure his release as the case continues. Single parent of 5 receives new home through Men on Mission. Shelley Dudnoth, a single mother from Angois Avenue in New Amsterdam, Burbus, is celebrating a new beginning after receiving a furnished 3-bedroom home on Saturday. The house was built as part of President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali's Men on Mission, Mom, initiative, aimed at improving living conditions for vulnerable families. At 33 years old and working part-time, Dudnoth had struggled to renovate her previous home, which posed safety concerns for her and her 5 children. With the new house, she expressed relief and gratitude, knowing her children will now be comfortably accommodated. Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa presented the keys to Dudnoth and emphasized the government's commitment to enhancing the quality of life for vulnerable groups through initiatives like homeownership. Not only in Region 6 but in every single region across this country, we are having houses like these being delivered to vulnerable groups, he stated. Minister Mustafa applauded the collaborative efforts of local clusters and corporate sponsors that contributed to the successful completion of the project. He encouraged more corporate bodies to get involved, saying, "Let us make a difference in the lives of vulnerable groups." The minister also highlighted the ongoing transformations in various sectors, including housing, education, and health, that are set to provide long-term benefits to all Guyanese. Regional Chairman David Armagan noted that several vulnerable families in the region have benefited from new homes through the Men on Mission initiative in recent years. Lieutenant Colonel Bade Schwar Murley, a member of MOM's committee, also addressed attendees during the ceremony. With a budgetary allocation of $700 million this year, the Men on Mission program aims to broaden its outreach, with $395 million dedicated to constructing 52 homes for vulnerable groups across the country. This initiative is a testament to the government's dedication to improving the living conditions of those in need. Woman's ex-boyfriend brutally attacks relative in desperate bid to rekindle relationship. Newsroom. In a shocking incident, Godfrey Sutherland was brutally attacked by Jamal Paddy, the ex-boyfriend of Simone Williams, on Sunday. The attack occurred at Sutherland's home in Better Hope, East Coast Demerara, shortly after he returned from his farm. Williams, currently residing overseas, reported that Paddy has been making threats against her and her family since their breakup 7 months ago. She told the newsroom that Sutherland was alone when Paddy ambushed him, striking him multiple times with a cutlass. "He went into the yard where my mom lives and hid. He hit him, Sutherland, behind the head, and once he started chopping him, he took a chair and put it around his neck," Williams explained, detailing the brutal nature of the assault. As a result of the attack, Sutherland is now hospitalized in serious condition at the Georgetown Public Hospital. Williams recounted that Paddy had previously threatened Sutherland just weeks before the assault, expressing a disturbing ultimatum. Either Williams resumes her relationship with him, or he would kill her entire family. "This young man, I used to date him. I broke up with him 7 months ago, and I have been getting threatening messages," Williams stated, emphasizing her fear for her family's safety. Despite her attempts to seek help for Paddy by reaching out to his family, the threats have persisted. "His family knew that he was a troubled young man. I have sent them messages and let them know to get him some kind of counseling," she added. The incident has been reported to the Sparendam police station, and an investigation is currently underway. The community is left in shock, highlighting the urgent need for greater awareness and intervention in cases of domestic violence and threats. New River Triangle included in internationally recognized map of Guyana. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of Guyana has issued a statement regarding the recent presentation of a map at an international business conference held in Paramaribo, Suriname. The map inaccurately depicted the New River Triangle as part of Suriname, raising concerns about territorial representation. The ministry clarified that the participation of Guyanese representatives at the conference does not imply endorsement of the map's inaccuracies. They noted that the government of Guyana was not consulted before the map's distribution, and had it been, it would have issued a strong objection. For clarity, the ministry reaffirmed that the internationally recognized map of Guyana confirms the New River Triangle as part of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. This status is supported by a binding legal process and international agreements established in 1936 among Brazil, Great Britain, and the Netherlands. The boundary between Guyana and Suriname was delineated in 1936 by a joint British-Dutch-Brazilian boundary commission, which identified the source of the Katari River as the tri-junction point for the boundaries of Brazil, British Guiana, and Suriname. A monument marks this tri-junction, the southernmost point of the border between Guyana and Suriname. The ministry emphasized that the 1936 agreement clearly places the New River Triangle within Guyana's territory. It stated, "Guyana has always respected the agreed boundary and has exercised sovereignty and enjoyed continuous occupation of the territory on its side, including the New River Triangle." The ministry also stressed that the boundary agreed upon in 1936 remains the internationally recognized boundary between Guyana and Suriname. Any representation suggesting otherwise is deemed inaccurate. The government of Guyana remains committed to fostering strong and cooperative relations with Suriname, emphasizing mutual respect and adherence to international law. Discussions to address outstanding border issues will continue through established mechanisms between the two nations. Man granted $500,000 bail on gun and robbery charges. Andra Stewart, who faced charges of armed robbery and discharging a firearm, was granted bail on Friday at the Georgetown Magistrates Court by Acting Chief Magistrate Faith McGusty. This followed a renewed bail application from Stewart's attorney, Ronald Bostwick, who argued that Stewart had no prior convictions and posed no flight risk. After reviewing the case, Magistrate McGusty set bail at $200,000 for the firearm discharge charge and $300,000 for the robbery charge, totaling $500,000. Stewart is scheduled to return to court on February 14, 2025. Stewart, a resident of Lot 54 5th Street, Albertown, was initially remanded after being charged with 2 serious offenses. It is alleged that on December 26, 2024, he, along with an accomplice and armed with a firearm, robbed Su F.A., a Chinese national, of $3 million at Lot 48 Regent and Alexander Streets. Stewart pleaded not guilty to this charge. Additionally, he faces charges for allegedly discharging a firearm with intent to disfigure, having reportedly shot Zhao Peiming, a laborer employed by the victim, during the robbery. Stewart also pleaded not guilty to this charge. During his first court appearance, the prosecution objected to bail, citing closed-circuit television (CCTV) footage that allegedly implicated Stewart in the crime. They highlighted the serious nature of the offenses, the significant amount stolen, and the increase in such crimes during the holiday season. The court was informed that Zhao was shot in the right thigh while attempting to intervene during the robbery. According to police reports, 2 suspects arrived on a motorcycle, with one armed. They allegedly entered the store, accessed the cashier's drawer, and took the cash. When Zhao confronted them, one of the suspects fired a shot before both fled the scene on the motorcycle. Stewart had previously claimed in court that he was assaulted while in custody, had a bag placed over his head, and was denied medical attention. Despite these allegations, his initial request for bail was denied, and the case was adjourned. With the recent ruling, Stewart has been granted pre-trial liberty under the conditions of his bail as he awaits his next court appearance. Relative calls for a thorough investigation into uncle's death. Guyana Times, a woman from West Berbice, Region 5, Mahaica Berbice, is calling for a thorough investigation into her uncle's death, which she alleges involves foul play. Junior Forbes Phillips, a 51-year-old resident of Rossignol, succumbed to injuries at the Georgetown Public Hospital on December 31, 2024, following an incident that occurred on December 26. According to his niece, Graceland Phillips, her uncle was gambling on Boxing Night and won $75,000 while playing a trick card game with a local man. After counting his winnings, he announced his intention to attend a Boxing Night dance in Ithaca. Graceland suspects that this announcement may have prompted foul play, claiming that individuals may have laid in wait along a path leading to Shieldstown. Around 10 p.m. that night, Graceland received news that her uncle had been knocked off his electric bike. A cousin reported seeing 4 individuals pulling him, but when he inquired further, he was told Junior had crashed into a horse. He was taken first to the Fort Wellington Hospital, then transferred to New Amsterdam, and ultimately to Georgetown for more extensive treatment. During her visits to her uncle in the hospital, Graceland observed significant injuries, including a broken leg and severe trauma to his head. "You could see like they lash his foot and break it," she described, noting that her uncle was clearly in distress, pointing to his head during her visits. Unfortunately, he passed away on January 31, 2025. Graceland expressed frustration that no police report was filed until after her uncle's death, despite visible signs of trauma. "When we see Junior's body, you could see naturally where they lashed him in his head. The impression on his face," she said, adding that it was hard to believe the official statement that he crashed into a horse, especially since his bike showed no signs of damage. She also pointed out that the man her uncle had been gambling with disappeared shortly after learning of his death, suggesting that he may be involved in the incident. Graceland urged authorities to locate this man, believing that doing so could lead to further revelations about what really happened. The police have confirmed that the case remains an active investigation and are awaiting statements from Junior's relatives. A source close to the investigation indicated that Graceland has been requested to provide a statement but has not yet done so. Currently, police only have statements from the individual who transported Junior to the hospital and from a relative who witnessed the post-mortem examination. Central Immigration and Passport Office launches new 10-year Cooperative Republic of Guyana passport. The Ministry of Home Affairs is pleased to advise the public that the Central Immigration and Passport Office under the Guyana Police Force, through the Government of Guyana, has rolled out the new Cooperative Republic of Guyana 10 Years Passport, effective today, Monday, February 10, 2025. This initiative is a key component of His Excellency President Irfan Ali's vision for modernizing Guyana and enhancing service delivery for its citizens. This new passport features enhanced security measures and design elements aimed at improving both identity protection and the travel experience for Guyanese citizens. Applicants will now have the option to choose between a 5-year or 10-year validity period. The cost for the 5-year validity remains at 6,000 Guyanese dollars, while the cost for the 10-year validity is 12,000 Guyanese dollars for an ordinary passport, allowing individuals to make an informed decision based on their needs. The new passport incorporates advanced security features, including an embedded electronic chip. This upgrade aligns Guyana with international standards for secure travel documents, ensuring smoother border crossings and enhanced authentication. Additionally, the design of the new passport embraces the One Guyana theme, reflecting the nation's unity and cultural diversity. In keeping with the government's digital transformation agenda, efforts are underway to introduce an online application system shortly. While applicants are currently required to submit manual applications at passport offices countrywide, the integration of an online platform will allow citizens to apply remotely, streamlining the process and reducing wait times. A key element of the new passport system is the introduction of enhanced data collection. All applicants will be required to undergo biometric enrollment, including fingerprinting, to further enhance document security. It is important to note that individuals who applied for a passport on or before Friday, February 7, 2025, will receive the previous version. However, all applications submitted from February 10 onward will receive the new e-passport. As part of efforts to prevent any abuse of the system, the process of replacing lost or damaged passports is currently under review. While the existing policy remains in effect, future adjustments may include extended waiting periods for replacement documents to deter and investigate possible fraudulent claims. The Central Immigration and Passport Office urges citizens to stay informed and exercise patience during this transition. Further updates, including the activation of the online application platform, will be shared in due course. Number portability now available in Guyana. The Public Utilities Commission, PUC, has officially announced that number portability is now in effect, allowing telecommunications subscribers in Guyana to switch service providers while retaining their existing phone numbers. This service is available as of today, February 10, 2025. Participating service providers. The following telecommunications companies are currently offering number portability. One Communications, Guyana, Inc. U-Mobile, Cellular, Incorporated, Digicel. eNetworks Incorporated, eNet. How to port your number. Subscribers wishing to port their number need to visit the retail store of their chosen new service provider to fill out the necessary forms. Here are the steps to follow. Identification. Bring a valid form of identification. Postpaid customers will also need a copy of their last bill. Device compatibility. Ensure your mobile device is not locked to any other network and that its software is updated. Clear balances. Pay any outstanding balances on your account to avoid issues during the porting process. Porting process for mobile customers. Once the request is completed, text port to 07678 and follow the instructions. You will receive an SMS update once the porting is successful, after which you need to install the new SIM card. The entire process should take about 1 business day. For fixed-line customers. Clear any outstanding balances. After submitting your request, you will receive an SMS or email with an IVR number, 8997678, and a PIN code. Call the IVR number from another fixed line or mobile device and follow the instructions. You will be updated via SMS or email once the porting is complete, but your existing service will remain active until the new service is installed. This process typically takes about 5 business days. The PUC expresses gratitude to consumers for their patience during the implementation of this service and assures that it will continue to work with service providers to ensure effective service delivery while safeguarding consumer interests.